The Farseer, Assassin's Quest, by Robin Hobb. Narrated by Paul Boehmer. Copyright 1997 by Robin Hobb. This unabridged audiobook is published by arrangement with Robin Hobb, care of Ralph Vicinanza Limited. Prologue. The Unremembered. I awake every morning with ink on my hands. Sometimes I am sprawled face down on my work table, amidst a welter of scrolls and papers. My boy, when he comes in with my tray, may dare to chide me for not taking myself off to bed the night before, but sometimes he looks at my face and ventures no word. I do not try to explain to him why I do as I do. It is not a secret one can give to a younger man. It is one he must earn, and learn on his own. A man has to have a purpose in life. I know this now, but it took me the first 60 years of my life to learn it. In that I scarcely think myself unique. Still, it is a lesson that, once learned, has remained with me. So, with little besides pain with which I occupy myself these days, I have sought out a purpose for myself. I have turned to a task that both Lady Patience and Scribe Phaedron had long ago advocated. I began these pages as an effort to write down a coherent history of the 6 duchies, but I found it difficult to keep my mind long fixed on a single topic. And so I distract myself with lesser treatises, on my theories of magic, on my observations of political structures, and my reflections on other cultures. When the discomfort is at its worst and I cannot sort my own thoughts well enough to write them down, I work on translations, or attempt to make a legible recording of older documents. I busy my hands in the hope of distracting my mind. My writing serves me as Verity's map-making once served him. The detail of the work and the concentration required is almost enough to make one forget both the longings of the addiction and the residual pains of having once indulged it. One can become lost in such work and forget oneself, or one can go even deeper, and find many recollections of that self. All too often, I find I have wandered far from a history of the duchies into a history of Fitz chivalry. Those recollections leave me face to face with who I once was, and who I have become. When one is deeply absorbed in such a recounting, it is surprising how much detail one can recall. Not all the memories I summon up are painful. I have had more than just a share of good friends, and found them more loyal than I had any right to expect. I have known beauties and joys that tried my heart's strength as surely as the tragedies and uglinesses have. Yet I possess, perhaps, a greater share of dark memories than most men. Few men have known death in a dungeon, or can recall the inside of a coffin buried beneath the snow. The mind shies away from the details of such things. It is one thing to recall that Regal killed me. It is another to focus on the details of the days and nights endured as he starved me, and then had me beaten to death. When I do, there are moments that still can turn my bowels to ice, even after all these years. I can recall the eyes of the man and the sound of his fist breaking my nose. There still exists for me a place I visit in my dreams, where I fight to remain standing, trying not to let myself think of how I will make a final effort to kill Regal. I recall the blow from him that split my swollen skin and left the scar down my face that I still bear. I have never forgiven myself the triumph I ceded to him when I took poison and died. But more painful than the events I can recall are those that are lost to me. When Regal killed me, I died.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?